What's going on, Monster Jam fans, and welcome back to CISRtv. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're hanging out with us, and I thank you for that. If you want to see some amazing Monster Jam crashing, smashing, freestyling action, you, my friend, have come to the right place. But enough talking. Let's get into the action. So let's get ready to monster! What's going on, and welcome back to Monster Jam Adventure. Alright, now for those of you who don't remember where we left off, Sparkle Smash had infiltrated the Mad El Toro Loco gang space to prove her allegiance to the Monster Jam heroes, hoping to join forces with them. While she was there, she was able to get several pieces of encrypted information, encrypted data that now she, with the help of Soldier of Fortune and maybe some of the other heroes, want to decrypt to find out exactly what the Mad El Toro Loco gang is up to and see how this fits in with the outsiders. Alright, she's met with Soldier of Fortune and she's going to insert it into Soldier of Fortune's supercomputer. Alright, there we go. And now Soldier of Fortune's supercomputer should be able to decrypt this, and let's see what she found. Alright, it's starting to work on it. Computer's working overtime. Alright, it's starting to come in, and dimensional travel, Mad El Toro Loco gang hideout, outsiders dimension. Okay. Alright, so it looks like it was info on both the outsiders, how to dimensionally travel, and the Mad El Toro Loco gang. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe the second piece will help us put this puzzle together. Thankfully, Soldier of Fortune has the most powerful computers on the planet, and it should make short work of decrypting this. Let's look at the second one. All right, starting to come in. It says dimensional portal. It says antennas, conduit. All right, it definitely looks like the Mad El Toro Loco gang is looking into portal travel and dimensional rifts. Alright, Sparkle Smash still has another piece of encrypted data, and Soldier of Fortune says that this one is going to take a little bit of extra power, so she needs to head back to Camp Crushmore, get with Son of a Digger, and they'll be able to decrypt it from there. I think this is great news, boys and girls, because as of right now, if you couldn't already tell, Sparkle Smash is officially a member of the Monster Jam heroes, and I love the fact that she's willing to get right to work to prove how important and vital she can be to the team to make up for past misdeeds and make everything right. It's a great lesson that it's never too late to change. Who put that tree there? But it's never too late to change, and you can always do the right thing. And Sparkle Smash is proving that right here as she drives to Camp Crushmore to meet with Son of a Digger. I've got to tell you, the Monster Jam heroes are very blessed to have two near geniuses working with them in Soldier of Fortune and Son of a Digger, where they can decrypt stuff like this, because as we know, the outsiders and the Mad El Toro Loco gang pose a pretty substantial threat to the Monster Jam heroes, and we need to find out what's going on. Are they working together, working against? Hopefully this information that Sparkle Smash had will help us figure that out. And it looks like Son of a Digger has gotten the message from Soldier of Fortune. He was at her remote lab in Camp Crushmore, and he's heading up to the high ground, to the antenna, the most powerful transmitter, other than the zombie hands, that the Monster Jam heroes have access to. So he's gonna drive up there, get everything ready, and he should be able to use his high-speed tablet to decrypt this, and we can look at this information. And oh, I'm just being told, wow, Sparkle Smash has already patched into the comms. Awesome, okay, yes, all right, I can hear you, Sparkle Smash. Okay, she says there's actually 2 more pieces of data. And then okay, all right, Son of a Digger's hopefully gonna be able to decode and decipher them both, and then hopefully we can put this puzzle together, boys and girls, and figure out what's going on. Son of a Digger is powering up the antenna and getting it ready for Sparkle Smash, and it is perfect timing because she has just entered Bark Park, and we know that that is just next door to Camp Crushmore. It's wonderful now that Sparkle Smash has the freedom of movement, being one of the good guys, not having to worry about where she is in relation to the rest of the Monster Jam heroes. And she is excited and happy, showing off a little bit, taking that backflip into a nose wheelie. She's reminding us why she is an important member of the team. I think those type of driving and acrobatic skills may really come in handy later on in future missions. All right, Sparkle Smash has landed. She is in Camp Crushmore and is on her way to talk to Son of a Digger. Not sure if Dragon is around or aware of Sparkle Smash's presence. That's still a bit of a rocky relationship. We remember that Sparkle Smash used to be the leader of the Crazy Creatures when they were, let's say, morally challenged and semi-aligned with the Mad El Toro Loco gang. Of course, that has totally changed, and now the Crazy Creatures are fully on the side of justice, and Dragon is the leader, so named by Gravedigger. So Sparkle Smash is having to humble herself a little bit with the rest of the Crazy Creatures, and Dragon's gonna have to forgive and forget. All right, Sparkle Smash is coming up here to Son of a Digger. All right, getting those niceties and pleasantries out of the way. All right, he says that the tower is ready, and his tablet is just about ready to decipher it. And yes, there we go. Portals and antennas, zombie hands. Okay, all right, this is definitely lining up with everything earlier when it comes to dimensional travel. And Son of a Digger says that he actually had to use all the power decrypting that it was a much larger and more powerful decryption than he had imagined. So he's gonna have to rest and reset the power from the antenna in order to do it again, but not to worry, because there's one other tremendous source of power the Monster Jam heroes have at their disposal, and that is, well, it was referred to right there, the zombie hands in Gravedigger's castle. So right now a message is being relayed to the portal aficionado himself, Zombie. Nobody of the Monster Jam heroes, nobody in the entire world understands portal technology more than him. So she's on her way to rendezvous with him, and he should make short work of decrypting this last file, and hopefully that will be the final piece of the puzzle, because I'm not gonna lie, whoa, I tell you what, Sparkle Smash is really showing how she's upped her game over those rocks, lost her balance a little bit, but still kept those BKT tires on the ground. Great job, Sparkle Smash. Must have been spending some time in the training center. I like it. As I was saying, we are trying to figure out what's going on. Like, so far, I'm not sure. It kind of seems like the Mad El Toro Loco gang consider the Outsiders as much of a threat as the Monster Jam heroes do. I'm not ready to say 100%, but I think the Mad El Toro Loco gang might be planning something against the Outsiders. They're worried that maybe the Outsiders will take over the wasteland in their territory as well. All right, well, hopefully we have a bigger picture and a better picture by the time this is all over, so there's really no reason for me to speculate. All right, and Zombie is leaving his lab, driving through the haunted forest and heading to one of the zombie hands, and Sparkle Smash will meet him at where they can go ahead and decode this. Zombie is definitely familiar with the area, has no problem navigating this terrain, this rocky, bumpy, heavily wooded terrain. Zombie feels just at home, spends a lot of time here and in other dimensions. If you guys have paid attention, it's something that Zombie's interested in going back to. He thinks that the key to unlocking new technology and possibly defeating the Mad El Toro Loco gang and the Outsiders once and for all has to do with other dimensions. All right, woo, that's loud. Never get tired of seeing those zombie hands activate, and he says it's ready for Sparkle Smash to bring him this last important piece of encrypted data. Sparkle Smash is no slouch either when it comes to navigating the haunted forest. She spent a decent amount of time here way back in the day when she'd have to visit Megalodon at his lair and try and keep that big, angry shark happy. So she knows her way around the haunted forest. Not quite as well as Gravedigger or Zombie, but she knows where she's going. Alright, and she's approaching Zombie and the zombie hand right now. Alright, I tell you what, these two have become pretty good friends after spending what seemed like months together, trapped in another dimension. Alright, Sparkle Smash has handed the file over to Zombie, and he is working on decrypting it, handed it back to her using the iPad. Oh, and it is an attack plan. Look at this, it's Elemento Inferno, the Mad El Toro Loco. What was all that? That was the plan the Mad El Toro Loco gang has to go against the Outsiders. Guys, gals, we figured it out. Sparkle Smash may have just saved the day by infiltrating the wasteland and bringing that info back. This is going to give the Monster Jam heroes such a huge heads up and maybe the opportunity for an alliance? I don't know. She's not sure, and it's not her decision to make. She's going to go report all this info to the leader of the Monster Jam heroes, Gravedigger, and he's going to have to decide if this is something they sit back, wait, watch, and see what happens, or I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head. Does Gravedigger go talk to the big guy, the leader of the Mad El Toro Loco gang, and maybe forge an alliance? My enemy of my enemy is my friend type situation? Whew, this has added an entire new element to what's going on here, and ultimately, I'm going to trust in whatever Gravedigger decides. He has been a fantastic leader thus far, and so I see no reason not to trust him, and neither does Sparkle Smash. Gravedigger has been made aware that Sparkle Smash needs to talk to him. He says this info is too sensitive to use over open comms. No radio. They need to talk in person, which he and she agree with, and that's why he's on his way to meet with her. And Sparkle Smash is almost there. I can't believe this is happening. Boys and girls, did you ever think we would see the day where Sparkle Smash was discussing plans with Gravedigger on the same side? I didn't either, but here we are. Alright, Gravedigger and Sparkle Smash are talking about everything, and Sparkle Smash is telling Gravedigger what she's found out. Says that obviously we can continue to further analyze this data with the help of Soldier of Fortune and Son of a Digger. And he says he's got to think on this. No decision needs to be made right away. A hasty decision made is typically the wrong one. So Gravedigger is going to think about it, consult with Gravedigger the Legend, and probably Max D, and make his decision. In the meantime, Sparkle Smash is hyped, doing a great job. Hey, wait a second. Alright, we know that's the second in command of the Mad El Toro Loco gang. It's odd, but it's good that apparently Soldier of Fortune still has a few of her surveillance drones above the wasteland that they weren't able to knock out. Alright, let's see what happens. Where's he going? Huh, he just stopped. Did he just call out to some... Wait a second. That's Northern Nightmare. Wait, what are they doing? All right, let's listen. They're saying everything went according to plan. That. Wait a second. It's a trap. The Mad El Toro Loco gang and the Outsiders are working together, and they knew Sparkle Smash got into the wasteland, and they let her find that information. They wanted her to get it. They wanted the Monster Jam heroes to decode it so they could take them by surprise. This is 100% the Mad El Toro Loco gang, and the Outsiders are teaming up. I've got to try and get this information to Gravedigger and let him know what's going on before possibly something terrible happens. I don't know if the Monster Jam heroes are ready to take on them both at the same time. Guys, what should we tell Gravedigger? Comment below and let me know exactly what we should say to him. We definitely have to let him know this is scary. But if anyone can get out of this, it's Gravedigger and the Monster Jam heroes. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video before you leave and ensure that you're subscribed to the channel. I love hanging out with you guys and can't wait to do it again next week. Don't forget, we've got freestyle, we've got Crash, and we've got live streams on this channel. So if you're only watching the adventure series, you're missing out because there's so much more amazing content on the channel. Until next time, be good to one another, always treat others the way you would want to be treated, and we'll see ya!